Good morning, everybody. It's a bright, sunny morning, as you can kind of tell. Beautiful blue skies and glorious weather. It's supposed to warm up, although it was chilly last night. Um, I have a poem I want to read to you. It's a poem from when I was in Sevilla, in Spain, over a decade ago, 15 years ago almost. And Sevilla is such a complex place, but then where on earth isn't complex? You know, Sevilla was the point from which um, communications and plans and orders and treasures went back, arrived from the New World and went to the New World. Um, Once the Spanish had started their conquest of America, what the people in indigenous America now call the invasion rather than the conquest. Um, but Sevilla, at the time that Columbus had sailed, had itself just undergone a conquest where the Moors were driven out and Islamic civilization uprooted. Although in many ways it was just paved over. And it's that, just like the Spanish did in the New World, where they tore apart, they broke, but they also paved over and hid so much of indigenous civilization, such that it just bubbles underneath the Spanish. And in Spain, you can feel the Islamic, at least in Sevilla and Andalusia, you can feel the Moorish bubbling underneath the Spanish. And sometimes it's not so far underneath. And that's made me think a lot about my city, Salt Lake City, which would seem to only be not even 200 years old. It was in, 1847, I believe, when the Mormons arrived, and that's the official founding of the city. But for 5,000 years at least, people had been living and cultivating here, farming here. For thousands of years before then, people had lived here. So there are places in the valley where there are records of 5,000 years of human habitation. And it's that presence of the past, the presence of the hidden, that is there in our lives. Mr. Freud tried to speak of it as the unconscious and got into the way that libido and thanatos and eros, death and erotics, um, are there underneath and pressure our existence as they bubble, they effervesce, they give movement and tension. And I think he picked up on something really important. And in that are a number of very complex things, but they fit into religion as well. And that is the way that the Christian Christ was laid on top of the pagan sun in Europe and all the other kinds of things there. The way Christian order sits on top of Bacchanalia. And you see that break forth in Mardi Gras, in Carnival. The way that Victorian order, using Protestant Christianity, laid on top of so many other ways of spirituality like Catholic mystery, Catholic charism, devotion, and even sexuality. Um, the Victorians never were able to completely subjugate that powerful force. And today we live in the after effect. And so I'm just fascinated by the way that the present shows the past, the way our life, the surfaces of our lives, contain the hidden, and the way things are never as hidden as we would like them to be. Well, that's probably too much. Professors, you wind us up and we just go on and on and on, give a full hour's worth of lecture. Here's a poem inspired in Sevilla called Mystery. Face on a blank wall beside the Church of the Holy Cross, as if some Degas sketched eyes, thick hang of hair, a chin like a ripe apricot. Sepia graffiti reminds you were here. You once looked from behind your fan at youths whose orange like hips shift beneath their pants. To the side of weekly mask even now, they see in you desire. No blooming citrus or chill flowing water greet anxious feet. Stones, concrete, and you, a reddish ghost on white plaster. Enjoy the beauty of your days and all the bubbling, effervescent things that hide therein. See you tomorrow.